Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank my Ghanaian sisters from Ladies in Media for including me in the prestigious list of the 60 most influential African women in media. My name is Ndeye Fatou. I am 34 years old. I'm from Senegal. I am currently a PhD doctor student at the University of Paris. And my thesis focuses on the link between male figures and socialization in written press and television in Dakar between 2012 and 2021. Before starting my doctoral research in the field of men's studies, I began my gender studies program analyzing the link between Senegalese feminism and intersectionality. And then I went to examine the construction of Senegalese masculinity from a political religious perspective. However, gender studies isn't my first area of study. I first studied in a business school, graduating with a double master's in transport and international logistics. And after several years of work experience in this field, I started my feminist activism in Senegal in 2016. 5 years ago. And this activism resulted in the beginning of my budding career as a researcher. And I have also written several books. My first novel was published in 2014, Le Malheur de Vivre. And then I was featured in a collective project called Franklin L'Insoumis in 2016. And then I published a short essay on Senegalese feminism called Vous avez des féministes in 2018. And I was featured in another collective project about feminism on a global perspective, Féminisme dans le monde, in 2012. And I'm working currently, in my next book, which will be published hopefully in 2022, in a few months. And my career in the media started with my blog, ce que j'ai dans la tête.wordpress.com. When I arrived in France in 2008, 13 years ago, I was living in a town in the north of France called Dunkerque. And the isolation, the thermal and cultural shock all led to me finding my refuge in reading. And I've always been a big reader. As soon as I got home after my classes, I would dive into a book. And the love of reading was soon fused with the love of writing. As I discovered new authors, I wanted others to know that about them as well. And I started by sharing short reading notes on social platforms. It was the beginning of Facebook and later Twitter, which was then followed shortly by my blog. This love for affair has been going for 13 years now. Wow. And since literary blogging was not all widespread in Senegal, I am happy to be a part, if not the pioneer, who helped to spread the word. It was really the first step in the creation of my media figure. It allowed me to make myself stand out, to develop a readership, to sharpen my writing skills, and it served as the starting point of all the events that followed. In addition to these different activities, I'm also an activist because I have coordinated the first campaign against sexual violence in Senegal, following the outpouring of Me Too and Balance ton port movements. Named Balance ton saïsaï, I created this hashtag to protest against the silence in the face of the societal phenomena and has spoken out in the foreign and Senegalese press to ensure that women's voices are better heard and they are better protected. This activism allowed me to become part of this new generation of feminists in Senegal, but also to start my research in the field of gender studies. And my main motivation is passion. Passion is really what motivates me, whether it is in my daily life, wearing different hats as a reader, an author, or a researcher. I am driven by passion, which allows me to overcome difficulties and persevere to accomplish my goals. And getting involved in unexplored fields with very little female figure Representation has always been my goal. When I started my blog, I was not aware of the impact it would have on people. It's true that nowadays I blog lesser and lesser than before, but looking at my blog statistics from time to time, I'm happy that it still gets visits and comments. Also, having published my first novel in 2014, I was pleased to see that there was subsequently a plurality of young authors followed in my footsteps. They still hold true in my investment in feminist activism and my research into masculinities. Always digging, never staying on the surface, shining in everything I do to create emulators. My favorite quote is Carpe Diem. To take each day as it comes and without question is a motto I try to live by as much as possible. The universe has shown me that if I let it, things tend to fall into place. So I pick and pick at every flower I come across on a daily basis. I love this phrase so much that I have it tattooed across my forearm here. In 10 years' time, I see myself as a researcher and as a widely known and recognized author in Africa, and why not across the world as well. Doing what I love most, which is to exchange with and meet similarly passionate people, because I am firmly convinced that it is in sharing knowledge that we broaden knowledge. The challenges are numerous and varied. The fact that I live in a central country, France, working in a country on the fringe, Senegal, already presents me with major epistemological challenge. I always make sure that my being an African and a Senegalese woman emerge in everything I do, because the battle of identity in this context of globalization that we are confronted with is one of great importance. I'm a great fan of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who I first discovered as a novelist and then as a feminist. The fact that she can combine her feminist stance without losing any of her relevance made me realize that feminism in Senegal needs to be shaken up. And I think that social media in general is a tool that women should use to amplify their voices, even if traditional media such as the written press and television are still in the hegemonic clutch of powerful men. However, social networking sites such as Twitter or Instagram are currently the most popular social media platform, and they are tools of expression that women must seize in an artistic and professional and even playful way to make themselves heard. And the future can only be bright. I'm convinced of that, because with the communication channels that I mentioned above, we can only hope that things will be better. Thank you again, ladies. It's truly an honor.